Hey guys, John here with a silver update. This video is really more for the investor trader out there who watches this channel, not so much for those, and there are a lot of them, holding silver or gold as an insurance policy, sort of, worst case scenario, fiat currency collapse type style. Obviously, even myself, I hold silver and gold that I'll never, hopefully, never have to sell. It's more an insurance policy for me. It's my core position, and hopefully that'll stay in the family for as long as it's needed. But um, obviously, for those that know me, I was heavily invested into silver as well. Sold the house and whatnot 2 years ago to load up on silver, and have recently sold all of that investment silver. Recently at $48. So a few people since then have been asking me about my investment psychology, and I should do more investing style videos, and I'm not going to go too heavy into them, mainly because I don't know how many people are really interested in those sorts of videos, because there is a large contingent of people on this channel just interested in silver and gold, and sort of worst case scenario and how that's going to play out and tracking that, and that's probably what I'll stick to on this channel. But I do just want to do this one video on it, and these charts you're seeing here, you've probably seen them before, and they are cliche in some regards. They're sort of very very stereotypical, but funnily enough, people, even myself, do tend to make the same mistakes over and over again. The public generally, well, they generally get it wrong, and they're generally making the same mistakes again. It's quite a phenomenon actually. But I will just quickly track through these charts and show you. We'll track through it as if this price here, which obviously could represent anything, we'll track it as if it was silver, because I think we've seen a lot of this sort of stuff play out over the last few weeks. You see a lot of people trying to get in at the dips here, and then tend to buy in at a high, because obviously they're caught up in that euphoric phase of whatever it is that they're investing in this case silver. It was getting quite parabolic, quite euphoric, from between $40 and $50. It looked like nothing could stop it. So they jump in, and price tends to go higher because obviously everyone else is doing the same thing. And then as it retraces, what we saw on May 1st, we saw this exact mentality come out. I'll use this correction to increase my position. I'll double down at this price. When we had that 10% correction, and that I was doing my turning point video here, saying where I think the value in silver is out of the market for me, and then when we got this dip, it's like, well, are you buying now, John? 10% has come off the price. You must be a buyer at these prices, surely. I came out and did a video sort of saying, no, don't buy this dip, because people are still way too optimistic about silver. It's still very much this mentality, point 0.5 and 6 coming out. And even point 0.7, I heard on the weekend, someone said to me who's invested in silver, she said, as soon as it goes back up to $50, I'm selling out. I heard this exact sentence said to me, and that's what actually reminded me about this chart. So, we've really seen this sort of play out in silver over the last few weeks. Whether we'll see this whole sort of chart play out in total, it doesn't have to happen. These charts are really quite broad and, as I said, stereotypical, but it's good to be aware. And what I use these charts for is not so much identifying what other people are doing and trying to identify where everyone else is at along this chart. I use it more for checking myself and my own emotions, and making sure I'm not making similar sorts of mistakes. And you probably want to use it for that, rather than try and pick where the market is at everywhere else. Now we see sort of point 10 coming in as well. What are the SEC doing about this? The manipulation and all that sort of stuff. We're hearing, the blame being shifted from, instead of blaming yourself for getting it at the highs, the blame is being shifted to other people. Crying of manipulation. Now, there may or may not be manipulation in these markets. Well, I think there is manipulation in the silver and gold market, but whether this whole thing relates to manipulation or not, the point is we're hearing people say that. So that's really what I think I take from this chart here. And then they get out, at the bottom, because they just capitulate with the price, and they generally tend to happy to do so, because it just sort of bottoms for a while. And then this is what I find interesting too. As it goes up, you start to get those who sold out here come onto YouTube and start trolling, saying how this run up, which was similar to this run up here, is just going to collapse and capitulate and take everyone out to the cleaners. This tends to be your YouTube troll, your classic YouTube troll who sold out down here, made tens of dollars, sorry, inside joke, and then start to bag it on the way up, and then they'll tend to end up buying back up here, and making the same mistakes as they did on the way down. So interesting chart, and again, it's not a golden rule. It's not like the holy grail of investing. If you follow this, you will make millions and millions. It's not. It's just something to check your own emotions against and to guard against with yourself, rather than trying to pick the market and where everyone else is at. This one is a similar one. I'll try and zoom in there. Hope you can see that. Basically, it just tracks the emotions as the price rises and falls, and you've got this excitement, thrill, euphoria on the way up. Now, this phase here can last for a hell of a long time, and in fact, it shouldn't just look like a rounded top like this. It should actually, be the parabolic move that we saw in silver. That euphoria, no one can pick a top. So far, I've been lucky, and it really is luck. I never came out saying that I'm selling at the top and this is the top for silver. I wouldn't be so naive in that sense. It's just so happy I got lucky, but it was the point of maximum financial risk for me. I didn't put it in those words. I said the value of silver has been lost for me. For it to double in price here, which was possible, it could have silver could have easily gone to $100, but I think just as easily could have lost 50%, or I could have lost half of my investment. So for me, the value was out. But really, these phases here, no one can pick the top. There's an old saying: the markets can remain irrational for longer than you can remain solvent. So in that sense, if someone started trying to short the euphoria phase can just take it to ungodly heights, and no one can pick the top with any long-term degree of accuracy. And we definitely saw this denial phase come in when we saw that 10% drop. Rush out and buy silver. 100 YouTube videos saying load the boat. I think from what in my subscriber list, I was the only one saying, look, there's too much euphoria still left over in this market. The people are denying what they're seeing, and I was warning against buying the dip there. And I think I said something like, when there's desperation and capitulation in the market, fear, blood on the streets, that is when you want to be looking to reload the boat. And then you get this whole hope, relief, and then back up to optimism, thrill, excitement, euphoria, and the cycle continues. Now, there's no reason why this cycle can't continue. Here it's sort of displayed as a flat, the same highs, but really it can be tilted upwards to show that the price can still rise over time in something like silver, but you've got all these emotions getting people in and out of markets at the wrong times. And so again, it's really something to check your own self against and your own investing styles against, and not try and pick where everyone else is. Sometimes it's obvious. This was obvious, but we don't know where the capitulation is in the markets. It could be that silver's made a bottom. I don't think it has, but it could be that. And so, you just have to really use this as a guidepost, not a golden rule. So I hope that's helped some people out there. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to a relatively new YouTuber on the scene. Corey C is his name. He goes by the nick of H1 Inc. I'll put a link below. Funny, a good YouTuber. I think he's an honest guy, and I've got only good things to say about him. Some of his videos are, and I have to admit, I subscribed to him because I thought his, his, I won't say trolling vids. They weren't trolling, but he was more just sort of pointing out some inconsistencies and some idiosyncrasies in some people's videos, and he laid into a few people pretty thick. I found them just funny, and I'm ashamed to admit it. but I like those sort of videos. But lately, I wouldn't promote him just for that. Obviously, I think lately he's been coming out with some. Sorry, I'm just trying to just some level-headed videos. I think he's a smart guy, and I think he's probably underrated in terms of subscribers. I think you should probably check him out. And he's a bit of a silver perma bull in some respects, but he's honest and he makes it clear why he's like that. And I think he's got some good videos, and I like his style. So check him out, subscribe to him, give the man some support. And yeah, if you look back in some of his other videos, they're pretty funny. And I like freestyle rap as well, so he's got some of that stuff in his early videos. Oh, this video here was golden. You can check that out. Yeah, funny as well. So yeah, check him out. And that's it. Talk to you soon, guys.